static stopped the instant my fingers left the keys. Not faded, stopped. It is clean, deliberate, like a held breath. I sat frozen at the console, the observatory humming around me at 3 in the morning, and I waited for it to make a sound it had no reason to make. The log entry was already half typed. Flag it as noise, the supervisor had said before he drove home. Just an artifact. Ignore it. My cursor blinked over the word noise. I hadn't finished the sentence, and that, somehow, was the problem. My name is Mara. I run the graveyard shift at a dish parked in the desert, 40 kilometers from the nearest light. My job is boring by design. Watch the sky hiss, catalog the hiss, go home. Nobody expects the hiss to catalog you back. Static isn't emptiness. It's the warmth of the electronics themselves, and beneath that, the cosmic microwave background, the faint afterglow of the universe's first light, 2.7 degrees above absolute zero. When your grandparents watched snow on an old TV, some of it was the beginning of everything. So I ran a test. I typed a slow line of nonsense and watched the waterfall display bloom with texture. Then I lifted my hands. 1 second, 2. The band went flat, smooth as glass. The universe, apparently, only whispered when I did. Coincidence, I told myself. The brain finds faces in clouds and patterns in rain. I flagged 1,000 false alarms. Every operator has. You learn to distrust the shiver up your spine. I laughed at myself, out loud, alone. Then I tried again. This time, I typed in bursts. 3 taps, pause. 3 taps, pause. And the static answered the shape of it, rising when I moved, falling when I froze, falling into that same held breath silence. It wasn't following my rhythm, it was waiting inside it. Here's how we tell a real signal from noise. We measure how far it climbs above the floor in multiples of sigma. 3, 4, 5 standard deviations. Noise is random, flat, formless, forgetful. The moment something remembers, the moment it correlates, it stops being noise by definition. And it was narrow, razor thin, sitting close to 1420 megahertz, the hydrogen line. The frequency every listener watches because hydrogen is everywhere. The one channel any civilization might agree to use. Nature almost never broadcasts on a single clean note. Someone or something had. There's one test that settles it. Point the dish away. A true signal from the sky stays locked to its point among the stars. You slew off target, it vanishes. But interference made on the ground follows you. It clings to the observatory, not the heavens. My hands were shaking as I keyed the command. If the signal disappeared, it was cosmic. A message worth my whole career. If it stayed, it was local, mundane, mine. The great motors groaned. The dish swung 10 degrees off the target. I held my breath too. It didn't move. The signal sat exactly where it was, indifferent to the sky, still breathing with my keystrokes. Locked to me. Not to the stars, to the room. And every rule I'd ever trusted told me that meant it was born right here, beside me. That should have been a relief. Local means solvable, but my skin crawled instead because I couldn't name the source. Something in this building was listening for the pause between my thoughts, and I was very, very alone with it. 40 kilometers from anyone. I thought of the Peritons. For 17 years, an observatory in Australia caught strange bursts from the sky. Alien, some hoped. The truth? A microwave oven in the staff kitchen, its door yanked open early, mid-heat. The strangest signals almost always turn out to be us. But I also thought of the WOW signal. August 1977. 72 seconds narrowband, 30 sigma above the roar. And its length matched exactly how long a fixed point in the sky drifts through the beam. It never repeated, never decoded. Still, decades on, unexplained. And I wanted it. God, I wanted this to be the one. To be the name in the textbook. The woman who was awake the night the universe finally spoke. Wanting it scared me more than the signal did. Hope makes a person see messages in mirrors. So I stopped pretending to be a scientist and typed to it like a person. A slow, deliberate line. Are you there? The static swelled under my fingers and dropped dead into that silence the instant I finished, as if reading over my shoulder, then pausing to think. It never gave me words. It gave me shape, my cadence, my hesitations, the exact geometry of my pauses handed back like an echo 1 heartbeat late. Not a reply, a reflection. And a reflection needs something nearby to reflect. Something wired into the same nerves as me. Then the ugly, honest thought arrived. A signal that reacts to the observer has one boring cause. The observer's own machine. Keyboards, processors, cables. They all bleed electromagnetic whispers into the air. Stop typing, and the local weather of electricity changes. It's real. It's catchable. It's called leakage. Engineers have a name for it. Compromising emanations. Tempest. The idea that a device broadcasts its own secrets just by working, that a sensitive enough ear can read your keystrokes from the hum of your hardware. My precious signal from the stars might be the dish eavesdropping on my laptop. I traced it. A shielding cable, gnawed loose behind the rack, its braid split like a peeled wire. I unplugged my laptop, killed the console, sat in the dark with only the analog meters glowing, and I typed on a dead keyboard, connected to nothing. The static didn't flinch. Flat. Random. Beautifully, boringly indifferent. It was me all along. My own machine talking to the sky and the sky handing it back. I'd nearly announced myself to the world as first contact. The relief tasted exactly like grief. This is why we never believe a single dish. No signal counts until a second instrument at another site hears the same thing on its own. 1 station is a rumor, 2 is a discovery. I'd forgotten the discipline of doubt, and doubt had saved me from a fool's fame. So I finished the sentence. Flag it as noise. Instrument leakage, faulty cable, case closed. I saved the file, reached for my coat, and as the console went to sleep, in the half second before the screen died, the waterfall rippled once, though my hands were nowhere near the keys. I told myself it was the shutdown, a dying pixel, the last sigh of a machine. I almost believe it, but some nights I still wonder whether the static was ever holding its breath, or whether, out here in the dark, we've only ever been listening to ourselves.